So this is another way that the DNR could bring forth a charge. Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Radzwion IV, your trusted attorney with Radzwion Law PLLC, and today we are talking about the 3 ways that a hunter could be charged for violating the DNR's new harvest reporting requirement here in the state of Michigan. That's right, last week we talked about the new hunting rules for the upcoming season. You can check that out on our blog page, radzwionlaw.com/blog. It will be under the Hunt, Fish, Firearms tab in the right-hand corner. That rule talks about where the rule came from or how it was developed or why it was developed, and then also what the requirements will be moving forward for the hunter. So please do check that out. Now, today we are looking at what happens if a hunter violates that rule. So the DNR seems like they were intentionally vague when they put out the punishment or the penalty for violating this harvest reporting requirement. Their website simply says that it's going to be a 90-day misdemeanor punishable between $50 and $500 in fines. So let's look at some sections of the law that I know hunters are charged with that I've represented in court for licensing violations. And really that's where it's tied into the harvest reporting requirement. That's what I see as the most feasible way that the DNR start charging people or writing tickets or violations for, is some sort of tag on to the license. So let's look at the first area of the law. And this is MCL 324.43558 subsection 1. It talks about how a hunter would be guilty of a misdemeanor if they do any of the following. One of those things is making a false statement or reporting materially false facts for the purpose of obtaining that license, or uses or attempts to use that license obtained by making a false statement. Do I think that this is a far stretch? Probably. This is probably not the strongest case that a prosecutor could bring against someone. There's also subsection F, which reads falsely makes, alters, forges, or counterfeits a sports card or hunting, fishing, or fur harvester's license, or possesses an altered, forged, or counterfeit hunting, fishing, or fur harvester's license. So that's a mouthful, but what is this? How does this relate to the harvest reporting requirement? Again, if that is seen as being tied directly to the license, to the hunter's license, then any sort of false or material statement that is made that is incorrect, that's factually incorrect, reported to the DNR, that may be viewed as some sort of altered license, or they're possessing a hunting license that has been altered or forged, and this again would be able to be charged as a misdemeanor offense. So the next area of the same section here is subsection 6, and this is really the second way the DNR could charge an individual, a hunter, for violating the harvest reporting requirement. And it's the first offense would be a state civil infraction punishable up to $250 in fines. And then the second offense would be a misdemeanor charge. You could spend up to 90 days in jail and up to $250 in fines plus the cost of prosecution. So this section would be if a hunter violated, and it refers to another section, so we have to go to that section, and that is MCL 324.43516 subsection 3. And that simply says that an individual or a hunter who has a license needs to carry that license on their person when they're hunting in the field, etc., etc. So how would that apply to the harvest reporting requirement? Well, under that same section, if you are hunting, a DNR officer could come up to you, or even the landowner can come up to you and say, hey, I want to see your hunting license. If you fail to produce that license, you can be charged. And if you remember from last week's post, we talked about how you as a hunter are now responsible for keeping that confirmation ID number once you make that harvest report. So if you fail to produce, or you can't produce that harvest report ID number, that may fail to satisfy the DNR's license requirement, or that a hunter produce their license upon demand. So this is another way that the DNR could bring forth a charge under this section, which is again MCL 43516. Now, if we look at the third way the DNR could bring forth a charge against an individual, it would be under MCL 324.40118, and this is the most severe punishment out of all of them, and that is, at least under subsection 1, it talks about how a hunter who violates this part of the order or interim order issued under this part, or a condition of a permit issued under this part, individual will be guilty of a misdemeanor punishable for up to 90 days in jail, not more than $500 in fines, cost of prosecution, and they will revoke your hunting license. So why is this one the most severe? Well, if you skip down to subsection 3, it again talks about how an individual who is in possession of or takes a deer and violates some sort of order or interim order, in regards to this section, can be charged with a misdemeanor offense up to $1,000 in fines plus the cost of prosecution, and they will revoke their license. This is under subsection 7. So if you're charged under subsection 3 and you're sentenced under subsection 3, the DNR will revoke your current hunting license and then also suspend for 3 years at a minimum the hunter's hunting license moving forward. So the very worst offense is a hunter could spend up to 90 days in jail, pay up to $1,000 in fines, and lose their ability to hunt for up to 3 years if they do not follow the DNR's new rule. Now, what is the likeliness of this happening? It's probably pretty slim. This one is the most severe offense, but it's a far reach for what the law actually is saying. I would like to hear what you guys have to say and comment below. What do you think the DNR will write tickets for regarding the harvest reporting requirement? Hit that like button if you support hunting rights here in the state of Michigan, and consider subscribing to our channel to see more videos on hunting rights and fishing rights here in the state of Michigan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.